right, so first thing we want to do here is we got 5 boards. So cut them all the 24 inches here this way. Obviously, there'll be a little bit more than 24 this way. No big deal, because when we cut the circle, then we'll be good. So then I want to find the middle of the middle board. And you can see I just I drilled a hole in there for my little, what do you call it, clock mechanism thing, where the hands are going to go through. Now you can see the height of where the threads are isn't long enough that I can just put it behind this board. So what I'll do is I'm going to, well, a couple of these boards, like say this board here and this board here, I'm going to cut in a couple different pieces so it's not just 5 straight boards. I'm going to try to, say, cut a portion off of this side here, and then cut a portion of the top piece there, and then the 3 full ones, just so I can add a different element of color. So kind of like my gather sign, if you watch that video, I can link that video up in on the right there. Yeah, if you're looking at its top right, yeah. So what I have to do is I'm going to have to kind of trace this out and router a little bit of the wood off here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of wood and screw these on here, and then I'm going to router that piece on here, and then I'll come back. Okay, now as you can see here, I routered the inside here for the clock mechanism. This board is about 5/8 thick, and I did it about 3/8 thick. So I would have enough threads going through that the nut can screw onto it, because I got to have at least some threads to tighten the clock mechanism so it doesn't move. And then you can see I didn't screw these ones in. What I did is I've cut them. So for example, this one is going to go like that, and then I'm going to have a piece here, and then the opposite will be here. So I'll do like that, and then have the piece here. That's why you can see the 2 screw holes there, and same with at the top there. So I want to put them, like on my gather sign, I had a little bit of white, a little bit of black, a little bit of red in there, and then, you know, like one without any stain, just a clear coat on it, one with a walnut, one with an oak. So I'm going to probably do the small pieces, maybe something. I have to figure it out when I get there and do it. We'll figure it out. If I go and do it and I put the pieces together and I don't like it, then maybe what I'll do is I'll just cut new pieces here and just cut it all and be done with it and make it just all 5 pieces. Okay, so let me turn this around. I'm going to sand all the boards, and then I'll come back. So now I started cutting close to the circle here. As you can see here, I'll sand that off, but the string kind of got tied up. What I did is, hold on, I'll show you, kind of put a bolt. So put a bolt from underneath here and just tied a string around it and put my marker and tied it into the marker here. I knew that this end and that end, it was 24 inches, right? So I tried to make it right to the end and then draw a line, but this inside line kind of, because I started at that end, so that end was working fine, and then the string wasn't spinning around the bolt, and as as you can see, a couple times. But that's fine. I got it working, just took my time. And then I'll just sand this down. I didn't want to get too close to the line because I wanted to try to make it look as circular as possible. So now I'm going to sand it to the line here, all around, till I get to the line. It's just easier. I'll get as close as I could. And then, as you notice now, these pieces here, I was going to cut them so there are pieces, but I noticed what would happen is on the back, since this is 3/4 and this is not even 3/4, this is more 5/8. So if I did it 1.5 inches, I was going through. I didn't want to go through. These are inch. Well, when I noticed these as an inch, they weren't gripping as good in here. So if I was going to cut pieces, as you can see where the 2 screw holes were, this would have been a piece, and then this side would have been a piece. Same with this down here. This would have been a piece, and then the rest of it would have been a piece. Well, the only thing holding this together would be a couple maybe brad nails and the screw that wasn't gripping into this old wood as good. So I'm like, I wasn't comfortable with it. Now what I did here is I did do some longer brad nails. As you can see, I kind of just went through from here and through here. So I just took my little Dremel and grinded them off so there's no sharp ends in the back that would scratch the wall up. And then just for some extra stability, I just put a piece of 1/4 inch plywood behind, cut out where the clock mechanism would go, and then I just brad nailed it because the end pieces here are only a little bit on here. I got brad nails, but I figured if I put something else to help support it, that would help. So I did some brad nails from the back, and that'll help secure it a little bit better. So now what I'm going to do is I do have it sanded off now. As you can see, I'll have to sand it some more once I get it down to the circle. But that's kind of like the front face of it here, how it's going to look. I guess I should see how the clock is going to sit in there, eh? Make sure I got enough thread. So it's going to come up through here, the bottom here. Okay, so as you can see, I do have enough threads here, so that's good. I'm gonna put it on here and let's see how it looks. I'll come back. Okay, so it looks like it's kind of, the arms are kind of small, but yeah. Say for example there. Depends on how big the numbers are. Still, I'm not sure if I'm going to do actual numbers or Roman numerals. But I mean, to me, if they're, 4 inches or 6 inches, so let's see, 4-inch number wouldn't be that bad. 6-inch would be almost, I don't know if it would be too big, because you got to figure a 6-inch, put it on a side. I'm going to put a 9 there. So if I did a 6-inch, sorry about that camera there. If I do a 6-inch, I don't know how wide they are. probably go into there a little bit. But and then also wondering if I should do black lettering, because I think I'm just going to put a clear coat, like a poly on here. Obviously I'm going to sand it down, using some finer grit there. I only kind of sanded it down to get clean it up a bit. For now I still got to sand it more, and I figured since I have to sand off the marker, I can sand off the rest. But I don't think I'm going to put any color on, and I think I'm going to have to fill these holes. I don't want it's harder for you guys to see, but it stands out pretty good here, like some of them here. They're from the brad nails to go through. I want to fill those in. I'll just use some sawdust with some glue, and that'll work. It'll blend in. So let me kind of sand down to the lines here, and then fill in these holes, and then we'll come back. Okay, almost forgot to give you an update here. Everything was all sanded, as you can see. I already started putting, that's a 6, not a 9. I just flipped it around. Already sanded it down, as you can still see the little nail holes. Unfortunately, you can see them because this is these are old weather fence boards, and this is pine sawdust, so it does stain a little bit, but hopefully once I put some poly on it, it'll kind of darken up. So trying to figure out where to put the numbers, and I decided to go with regular numbers and Roman numerals. But what I just did is I put some painter's tape kind of from edge to edge. That way I'll kind of have an idea on those two, and then on this side I'll take this measurement from here to where the number starts, and then I'll kind of do the sides too, so there's an even spacing from the edge of the board, the clock, to numbers. Now with the 3 and the 9, what I might do is I might just put it at the edge instead of the spacing. I'll take a look. As you can see, if you watch my videos on making those reversible Halloween and Christmas signs, outdoor signs, that's where I got my template from, off Amazon. And the numbers are pretty good size. If you see, okay, for a 3 here, it's about 3.5. Yeah, this one's close to 4. So the 6 is about a 4. The one is a 3.5. So 3.5, 4 inches, depending on the letter. So let me finish putting the letters on. We'll see how it is. I didn't want to put it too thick, because I'm going to probably try to lightly sand it so a little bit of wood pops underneath it. I don't want too much, but I don't want it to look like it's new, right? The new numbers are new. So let me get the numbers on here. We'll let it dry, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I'll give you an update here as I'm almost done putting all the numbers on here. Now, as you can see, okay, so let me kind of turn it right side up so you can see it before I finish it up. What I did is I put the clock in, and then I put 12, 3, 6, and 9 on first. And then I wanted to make sure these are kind of even, but so what I did instead, well, first, is I put the clock in and I just kept winding it to each hour. And then, like this, I taped along the same angle as the hour hand all the way around, right? But not only did I just take the hour hand, I kind of did a measurement. And for this, they're about, almost all of them are about 5 inches apart. And then since these ones are closer to the side than the 6 and the 12 are, I had to kind of do an in between. So what I did is, this is about 1 3/4. This is about 1 1/4. So I did these all 1.5 inches away, and I do have a little dash that was in my stencil. So instead of me doing each stencil, I kind of used a marker on the stencil, lined up the middle of that tape, well, with the stencil. And then I used the marker and kind of traced it in, and then I just used my little X-Acto knife, cut it out, and then painted it, instead of painting that, wiping it off so I don't get smears underneath. So this worked out much better, as you can see. Just about done. So I'm going to finish off the last couple dashes, and then I'm going to put some poly on it. I'm going to sand the numbers a little bit, and they don't look too bad, but once I put some poly on it, it'll darken it up. So I want to kind of sand a little bit off of it, and hopefully it looks a little more rusticy with and kind of worn out, and then we'll come back and finish it up. Okay, so got the numbers and lines in. Looks good. Gonna put some poly on it. Let me get a couple coats of poly on that, and then we'll come and finish up the video. Okay, so this is the final product. As you can see, it turned out nice. I like the way it turned out. I'm glad I put the dashes on there. Without the dashes, it kind of looked a little bit plain. So putting the dashes on there turned out, made it look a little bit more busy, I guess you would say, instead of a little plain. So looks nice. If you didn't know, haven't seen my Twitter page, I have recently opened up an Etsy shop. Eventually, I'm going to post certain things like this to sell. But in the meantime, I am putting up digital downloads of some of the things I've been building. This will be up on there step by step, with some diagrams on how to build it. If you need a little bit more help than what's shown on my video. Other than that, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell to be notified when I post another video. We'll talk to you later.